Do you know your Pokemon facts? But do you know multiple useless ones though? I thought so. So that's what we're here for. Hey, back. It's your Pokemon GemzDesu, and today we are looking at 30 minutes of obscure yet useless Pokemon facts by the living legend BlueBoyPhin. Without further ado, let's just get right into it.
You know when you're playing a Pokemon game and you run into something weird and pretty cool, but it's so small that probably no one would care? Well, I decided to...
Like Ash's mom! I'm joking. I'm joking. That was a joke. And not a good one as well. Subscribe to BlueBoyPhin.
Subscribing would be freaking
Make sure you do that.
Anyways, let's do...
Before we continue, make sure you do that.
Would be freaking
and
awesome.
Like his videos. They're actually...
So
they're
this
amazing.
first one is a perfect example of something I think is incredibly interesting, but so small I wouldn't usually use it in my main Pokemon fact videos. This oddity takes place in Pokemon Emerald and wasn't discovered or documented until 2021.
Jesus, wait, when was Emerald? Wow, 2004. It only took a measly 17 years.
Battle Pike was an area inside the Emerald Battle Frontier.
That brings me so many memories.
Well, when challenging the Gentleman NPC, he has a Dusclops that attacks you with Ice Beam as soon as you enter.
Retaliating for once?
And there's something incredibly strange that can happen here. When Dusclops attacks, if you do not press the A button whatsoever, it will Ice Beam you while the man tells you to watch out. But if you press A during when this happens, you will get an extra line of dialogue where the man yells for his Dusclops to stop.
That.
If you go to the library in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and read this book, it says, "Please don't be mad, I need to pay my bills."
What? Really?
What the heck does that mean? Oh, it's a sponsor.
Oh my goodness, of course! I forgot to say also, link to this video and his channel will be in the description down below. It's nice to have sponsors, I guess.
In Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, on the first floor of the basement in Victory Road, there's a ledge near a ladder that if you jump over, forces you to go on a long path to get back to your starting point. But what's interesting is this ledge is only like this in the Japanese and English versions of the game. In the Spanish, Italian, French, or German versions, the ledge is actually cut in half to prevent this annoying detour.
Wait, what? So wait, us, the original Japanese, don't get this privilege? What? Pokemon belongs to everyone? It's for the whole world now? Shut up. I'm old and stubborn.
In Mahogany Town, looking at the map above, I want you to take a closer look to see if you can find the one error in the design of this town.
Oh, the tree? That tree there? Oh, look at that though. Oh, it must be that.
It must be that black dot.
3 seconds. I used more than...
The error is actually that this tree over here has the top of it slightly cropped off.
Jesus, I should have stuck with my first one. Always follow your heart, not the heart after your first... I don't know.
Seemingly for no reason. In Gold, Silver, and Crystal, the move Sonic Boom uses 2 different animations between the international and the Japanese release.
Wait.
Boom uses 2 different animations.
That animation, that's not Sonic Boom. It looks more like Wind Attack. What is that called? I don't know the English name. In Japanese, what is it? Kazeokoshi. What's Kazeokoshi in English? Kazuko, no, what? It's somewhere here below, but yeah, okay. He might say it later on, maybe.
Uses 2 different animations between the international and the
Japanese that's what he's talking about.
The games. But what's weird is that the Japanese version uses the same animation that went on to be used for Sonic
Looks
Boom
like some shuriken things.
Generation 2. But interestingly, the international version uses the animation for Gust.
Gust? Oh, that's it.
Reason,
that's the name.
Only to be reverted in every single game since.
Why? Why?
This next fact, I have a few mildly interesting sprite errors from Generation 5. The first is Slowbro. When you watch Slowbro's animation in battle, you can see how the entire face of its shell is slightly obscured. But when you look into the code of the game, you can find the character sheet and see that the shell actually doesn't have a left eye like it's supposed to.
Oh wow, there's only the ones for the right. But I guess you don't need it, right? Because you can't see it?
Actually doesn't have a left eye like it's supposed to. It seems they just didn't bother adding it because it wouldn't have been in view during Slowbro's animation.
Well there you go.
But when you watch Slowbro do its little dance a few times, you can easily tell we should be seeing part of an eye here, and it's a little off. Second funny sprite mix-up is Arbok. It's hard to tell, but Arbok is actually missing a tail segment. You can see there should be a small line right here, and we can actually confirm that this is an error, because we can actually see the back sprite has the missing tail segment. And one more sprite issue in these games.
Yeah, I can see it. This thing, I guess, it's supposed to be split here? Is that what he's saying? But this is Metamon. That's Ditto. This is a Ditto one. I guess doesn't really make...
And one more sprite issue in these games is Darmanitan. When in Zen mode, you can see its back is completely blank, even though it's supposed to have squiggly marks on its back just like regular Darmanitan does. And you can see the marks appear in the anime in every single game since Generation 5. It seems they just left it out of the original sprite design.
How do you miss that? I mean, yeah, it's a small thing, but when I was working as a game tester, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to check all the models, supposed to check if anything's missing, and I don't know how. Come on, Pokemon. I've found plenty of mistakes on the character models of a game, and yeah, one of them was... I'm not allowed to say, because on the contract, I said I can't leak any information. I'm sorry. I can't show the world my talent.
In the Korean version of Pokemon Gold and Silver, when you use the move Thunder, there will for some reason be an extra space between the word lightning and the exclamation point.
I mean, that's another one. We also check text, and I found plenty of text problems in my time too. Which I'm not allowed to say because of, you know, the contract thing.
This was actually found by Chickasaurus, who has a ton of little discoveries like this on her channel.
I've seen that channel as well, but I won't, you know, that's...
If you hack in Pokeballs meant for the bug catching contest called Park Balls into your game of Gold, Silver, or Crystal, it will cause a pretty funny little glitch. When throwing the ball, it will get stuck in the bag screen and attempt to catch a jumble of text instead of Pokemon. But it will immediately go back to normal after the next turn.
Great.
The move Retaliate is a 70 base power normal type move, but possibly at one point may not have been. If you get the TM for Retaliate in the Japanese version of Black or White, you can see that the icon is the icon used for dark type TMs, implying that Retaliate was originally planned to be a dark type move.
But doesn't that make more sense? Because Retaliate's the move that you use when your friend dies, right? I mean, when one of your ally Pokemon faints, right? And it doubles in damage? I mean, revenge is quite dark, no? Join the dark side, Anakin! Is that right?
But the move Rock Smash also uses the rock type TM icon for some reason in Gen 5, so maybe this is nothing. Throughout the history of Pokemon, there was only one that I think Game Freak most likely regrets creating. And that Pokemon is Diglett, and here's why. Throughout the series, Game Freak has had to maintain the continuity that this Pokemon does not come out of the ground. Every single sprite of Diglett depicts it surrounded by mounds of dirt where it's dug up. Not revealing the bottom half of Diglett to the player is the entire point of this Pokemon, and the reason we have this. So showing what Diglett looks like under...
What? There's nothing wrong with that. Look at that. It tickles something deep inside me. But no, okay.
So showing what Diglett looks like underneath is forbidden. But because of this, they were suddenly tied into this continuity-wise. And there's a funny few quirks that are a result of this. In the Pokeathlon, there's a jumping mini-game, and while Pokemon have different levels of jumping ability...
I think I know this one. This one, yeah, Diglett does not jump, because Diglett was one of my main in this game, and yeah, it never jumped.
While Pokemon have different levels of jumping ability, Diglett is the only one who literally does not move. This
Hey,
renders it completely
Diglett me, man.
useless in this
Connection.
minigame. Sometimes you have to jump to score points and hit
There was
discs,
this
and
one.
Diglett just will not.
Yeah, there was this
And
one
then
too,
when
I
we move
guess.
to the hurdle minigame, Diglett just simply ducks under the hurdles instead
Yeah.
of jumping over them. And when you enter Diglett or Doug
Oh,
Trio
my
into the
days,
black and white
memories.
musicals, normal Pokemon will dance and jump around, but obviously for Diglett, it will just glide around and spin.
Oh, really?
It's
That's so
kind of magical.
cute.
But the problems don't even end here.
Problems? Problems? This isn't a problem. This is blessing.
One incredible detail in Generation 5 is that the Pokemon have weight. When throwing out a strong, heavy Pokemon, it slams down out of the Pokeball. And all Pokemon
yeah.
have a slight falling animation when thrown out to some degree.
So that's what the sparkles.
All of them, except for Diglett, who
Diglett.
just weirdly fades onto the screen.
Ah, I like Diglett. Do you?
As you most likely know in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, HMs were replaced by secret techniques with all new names, and the technique for Flash is now called Light Up. But in the early demo build of Let's Go, Light Up was called Shine.
No!
Let me tell you my favorite story.
What you know? Sorry for the little interruption, by the way. I'm sorry.
The early
Should've saw
demo
that
build
coming.
of Let's Go, Light Up was called Shine, but only
Shine?
the first time you received it. After that, it was called Light Up again. So
Wait,
it seems
what?
like Shine was scrapped almost immediately, but it was there. And
What?
one last interesting detail about this Let's Go prototype is that there was a very different intro cutscene that shows your character holding a Pokemon plush. And here it is. It's kind of an interesting view into how much getting your first Pokemon actually matters in the Pokemon world, which makes me a little sad that it was cut.
Yeah, why? Why not keep that in? I mean, the Pokemon world has everything already. Why not let them have a taste of what we normal people feel like, you know? I always wake up thinking I was hugging a real Pokemon, but it was actually just a plushie. I mean, I like you, Mew. I love you. Don't worry. I love you. I love you. Jeez. Sorry. Cut that out, man. Sorry. My bad. You're more than a plushie. You're...
In the code of Pokemon X and Y, there's unused data for a key item called the Clothing Trunk. It seems like it would have been a key item used to change clothes anywhere you go, but this concept was simply just reworked into the dressing rooms in Pokemon centers. But then
Why?
came back in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Okay.
A mildly interesting detail in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver is the fact that certain Pokemon that are usually unencounterable have held items. Items that you will never see because it's impossible to even encounter the Pokemon in the first place. An interesting example of this is Shaman, Mew, or Celebi, which were all never catchable by normal means in Heart Gold, but for some reason are all coded to have a guaranteed chance of holding a Lumberry. Another weird one is Castform, who has a 100% chance to carry a Mystic
Looks
Water.
like Bullsax. I'm
and
sorry.
Jirachi,
I'm sorry. That was not Pokemon friendly.
with a 100% chance to carry a Star Piece. Speaking of Jirachi, there's another...
Why? What are some of the programmers in Pokemon doing? I mean, you're gifted as hell. I love your work. I mean, some of them are funny. This is actually useless.
Speaking of Jirachi, there's another interesting thing about
the
this
movie was
Pokemon you may
beautiful.
not have heard of. If you happen to be someone who purchased a copy of Pokemon Channel for the GameCube in
Pokemon
Europe or
Channel.
Australia, you might know that you can receive a Jirachi directly to your Generation 3 cartridge.
Ah.
And one little useless but kind of funny detail is that when talking to Professor Oak about receiving Jirachi, if you decide to just say no, instead of ending the event right there, a cutscene will play of Jirachi floating away, which is pretty goofy. But I
Imagine pressing no by accident. Damn. Get the hell back here, boy.
actually have something even more interesting about this to mention. When researching this Jirachi, I found out you could only get it after beating the entire game of Ruby or Sapphire, and that's a hell of a lot of time. If you were speedrunning this game as fast as possible, it would take you around 4 hours just to get this thing. And you know what else would take you?
4 hours. Took me 20 hours.
At least 4 hours beating the entire Pokemon Channel video game, which you have to do in order to receive Jirachi.
So you need
That
to complete
includes
both.
watching
That makes
multiple
sense.
anime specials, some even dimly projected onto the night sky with the opacity churned down to about 4.
Wait, what? Pichu Bros in Party Panic? What the hell is this?
But after you do that, Jirachi's yours. And after learning about this, a question hit me. Can this thing be shiny? Well, no. But okay, I lied actually, yes.
Oh, wait, what?
This thing was supposed to be shiny locked, but due to a programming error, is fully shiny huntable with a 1 out of 8,192 odds.
Game programmers! Game programmers! Whoa! Going a little frisky with the text, that's okay. But this is just crazy.
And that got me thinking, has anyone ever actually found one of these legit? And no, not a single footage of one exists out there legitimately found.
I've never heard of
not even
one
a shaky
either,
cam
so-
picture, and certainly not a video. This is a shiny that has never been found to our knowledge, which I find to be incredibly fascinating, and I personally think is the rarest obtainable shiny Pokemon.
That could be
why.
true.
Like I mentioned before, you can only receive this Jirachi if you have beaten an entire Generation 3 game. But you can't just simply save and reset your game to receive it after you've done this. You can only receive 1 Jirachi per save file. If you've caught on by now, this means that in order to shiny hunt Jirachi in this way, you would have to beat the entire game.
Oh no, that's crazy if you try to do that. I mean, if you have like a proper team, maybe. He said 4 hours to complete the game. Add the hours that you need to complete Pokemon thingy. What is it even called? I don't even know anymore, but yeah, Jesus.
Of Ruby and Sapphire for every encounter. And then you would do that over and over and over and over again, with the lowest possible shiny odds in the history of Pokemon.
Oh, it's the 8th. It's the one as well.
Finding the Pokemon Channel shiny Jirachi is something that would undoubtedly take you years, but yet is entirely possible for anyone with enough sheer will. Something about the world's rarest obtainable shiny Pokemon being right there in front of our nose waiting for someone to claim it is incredibly fascinating, and I really hope it shines for a lucky person soon.
That will require more than sheer will, mate. If anyone does that, please. You lucky.
In Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, on the second floor of the Sky Pillar, there is a cracked floor tile that if you stand on will crumble and land your player on a rock. A rock that is usually a background element and you cannot usually stand on.
That's actually happened to me. It's 2004. I'm a super kid, man. I wanted to brag to my mom, and I remember she said, well, can't you do that in real life? Can't you stand on a rock in real life?
This does absolutely nothing to your game, and you can simply step right off. But yeah, that's it. Can't get back on unless you do it again. And it doesn't do anything when you're on there either. But you know, it's kind of cool. I thought it was pretty cool.
It's beautiful.
I mean, you clicked on the video, you knew what you were getting into.
Oh, subscribe! Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe to BlueBoyPhin and my video. That would be so much appreciated if you do it here too. Please don't forget about me. Most of all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. See ya.